Are you having an awakening? Well, that's probably one of the most ill-defined terms on the planet. So in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly what a spiritual awakening is and share with you the signs, 20 signs actually, that you may be having a spiritual awakening. And at the end, I'll share with you a couple of exercises and practices that you can do to enhance your awakening and experience. So this is Adam from the Medium channel here in the heart of the beautiful Catskill Mountains, the heart of nature. And a lot of you don't know this, but the mosquito is our national bird here. Having a true spiritual awakening isn't just about seeing through the corruption of society or the politics or the ills of the world. I mean, that's part of it, or that's an effect of having an awakening. But a true spiritual awakening is understanding who you truly are, that everything is energy. It's about being able to see through the illusion of the 3D world and opening up to the wonderful world of energy and to flow, and understanding that we're spirits having human experiences, that we're immortal, and we're much more than society leads us to believe. So awakening can happen in many ways, in many different forms, and there's different levels of it. But the first sign that you may be having an awakening or had an awakening, you just start to feel more joy. You just start to feel more love. You feel your heart opening. You feel more compassion and more gratitude, just naturally. The second sign is feeling the flow of energy, feeling kundalini or energy rising from the base of your spine, or feeling energy through and around you, or maybe sensing energy fields, maybe seeing auras or sensing auras. That's a sign of awakening. Number 3 is that the concepts of time shifts, and time is not linear. All time happens in the present moment. And again, understanding that is part of the awakening. That is spiritual awakening, understanding that all time happens in the present and that we need to be present in order to access our higher potential and our higher power. So the shifting concept of time is definitely a part of spiritual awakening. And number 4 is that you may have an urge to meditate more. And it may just come out of the blue, or it may just be an interest that increases or develops. But the urge to meditate more, to do more spiritual activities, is definitely a sign that you're having or had an awakening. And the 5th one is that you find that your thoughts start to manifest into reality more easily and more quickly, and sometimes in a very stunning way. So if you start to find that things just seem to manifest, that you're thinking and feeling, and you're not even trying to do it, when you have an awakening, your energy increases, and your influence on physical matter increases as a result. So that's number 5. Number 6 is that you start to remember past lives, and you have more deja vus and stuff like that. Number 7 is that your psychic abilities increase. And what happened with me when I had my awakening, I started to see auras and energy fields. I started to sense spirits. But a peculiar thing started to happen where I would wake up in the morning, just somebody would pop into my mind that I may not have seen in months. And then sometime during the course of the day, I always ran into that person. There's many different forms of psychic abilities and intuition, but they increase as you have spiritual awakening. So number 8 is you feel separate from others. You don't feel so much as part of society or even your friends. Your friendships tend to change. Old friends tend to fall away because your awareness shifts and you start to align with people that are more aligned with your own frequencies and your own interests. So friendships changing and the desire to lose friendships is definitely a sign of spiritual awakening. Number 9 is that you start channeling. You start to sense your spirit guides and your angels, and you may start to do automatic writing, or just things come to you just out of the blue more than usual. And number 10 is that everything just seems different. You know, you can walk outside and everything is the same, but yet it's different. And that's because you've changed. Your perceptions have changed. Reality around you hasn't changed, but you've changed. And that is also a powerful sign of spiritual awakening. How many of these signs are you getting? Please comment them down below. And if I'm missing a sign that you're getting, Please comment that also. You can teach me as well, and we're a community. We teach each other. And while I'm at it, if you can, give the video a like and a thumbs up, and of course comment and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification and share with others. I'll love you forever, and plus it'll help get this information out to more people, and I thank you for that. So number 11 is that you have a desire to seek maybe videos like this one or spiritual teachers and spiritual presentations and stuff like that. It just tends to come naturally sometimes. And number 12 is that your diet starts to change. You just you're just not as interested in the same foods anymore, or the same beverages, or the same habits. When you have an awakening, your frequency changes, and the needs of your physical body, as well as the needs of your soul, changes also. So your diet's likely to change, and chances are it'll go to a more healthy and wholesome diet. So number 13 is a desire to be alone more. There's something that happens when we have an awakening, that we don't get bored so easily. In fact, I never get bored anymore because I'm sensing energy, and there's just so much information and so much activity in every moment that I can't possibly be bored. So I can be alone and be my own best friend, and I can be around people also, but there tend to be a desire to be alone more. And then number 14 is a desire to be in nature more. So those two kind of overlap. So desire to feel the flows of nature. Remember, nature restores. If you can connect with the flows of energy of the trees, or the wind, of the water, the rocks, and all that, you start to get more aware of the subtle flows of energy, and that brings you into a higher level of awareness of who you are and what your place in the universe is. So nature restores. All this technology and all this stuff tends to tear down our energy field. So as you start to awaken, you become more sensitive to that, and you try to limit your time on computers or cell phones to get more into nature. So number 15 is you lose the fear of dying because there's no death. When we have a spiritual awakening, we have what's called an initiation. It's a spiritual death and rebirth process. So you lose the fear of dying, then you lose the fear of living. So that's a powerful one that happens when we awaken, because again, we see beyond the veil of the 3D, beyond the illusion of death, because nobody dies. And number 16, actually, I said 16 already, so that was up above, but I wrote it down. I have my whiteboard behind the camera, and you stop feeling bored. So we said that already. Number 17 is that your desires, what you're drawn to, tends to change. And again, it's usually to more spiritual and more wholesome activities. So things that you once enjoyed, you may not enjoy as much anymore. But you know what? New things are going to take its place. So all is fine and all is good. So number 18 is there's an increased sense of creativity, more of a desire to create. After I had my awakening, I started to get more into music and into drumming and stuff like that. There's many forms of creativity, but that tends to happen. Number 19 is that you tend to have increased sensitivities, and your senses heighten, and you may start to get sensitive to certain sounds. Or light may bother you a little bit sometimes, or you may get more ringing in the ears. Sometimes when you hear ringing in the ears, it's not always tinnitus. Sometimes it's spirit. It's how your body or your senses are perceiving shifts in the energy fields, and that happens when spirits move near you. So when I do mediumship work, usually what starts out, I'll start to feel the energy sort of pressing. Usually it's on my left, and then I start to hear a little bit of ringing in the ears. It's usually very high pitched. Number 20 is a biggie, and I'll get to that in a second, but I wanted to share a couple of simple spiritual practices that you can use to enhance your awakening, to smooth out any challenges associated with the awakening. But before I go into that, I wanted to let you guys be aware that we have an inner core group called Spirit Mind Family, where we have exclusive videos and content where we go deeper into these topics. And also, that's the place to do the deeper work with the master teachers, or the energies, or the beings that I channel, that help us with our awakening and help work with enhancing your frequencies and clearing, old negative patterns and stuff like that. So they want to work with us in a more of an exclusive way. So I'm bringing that over to Spirit Mind Family. I'll have information on that in the comment, in the pinned comment. So first and foremost, practice presence, practice it daily. Every time you think about it, stop your thinking and be aware of your breath and be aware of your body and everything happening in the moment, being aware of everything but focusing on nothing. Then you can enhance that through when you inhale, feel your body gently expanding, and when you exhale, feel gently contracting. So be present with your breath and feel that gentle expansion and contraction. That helps to move energy through the body. That helps to clear blockages and cogs. Another thing is to ground. So practice when you meditate, visualize roots going down from the base of your spine or the soles of your feet into the earth. And another really good practice is what's called heart-brain coherence. And simply that's feeling magnified gratitude, appreciation, and love and compassion in your heart. And really feel that and really sit with that and let that expand into your brain and into your aura. Practice that every day, 10 minutes, 3 times a day. I have videos on that. I have videos on virtually everything we're talking about. But let me jump into number 20 quickly, and that is Ascension symptoms. In other words, peculiar things that happen physically or emotionally or psychologically. And of course, sometimes Ascension symptoms could be sensitivity to electronics or physical ailments. But if it's unexplainable, this is something that you want to understand because it gives you clues into what's going on with your awakening and how you're growing and what you may be clearing. So I have dedicated a whole video to that and it's right over here. So check that one out next. And thank you for being here. I hope this video was helpful. I love you, and I'll see you at the next video. Aloha.